Jackson Bunnings Trade.
Stay cool under pressure. When it all costs any means, any measure. There can only be one at the top spot. 9 teams all in it hit the last shot. Get ready for incredible.
Fresh off their biggest win at Nissan Arena, the Brisbane Bullets come into Saturday afternoon basketball flying. Huge victory over Sydney by 23. And they'll need to be all that and a whole lot more as they take on one of the competition's benchmarks in the Perth Wildcats. And just to spice things up a little more, a famous and familiar face returns to Nissan Arena, this time wearing Wildcats red. Hello and welcome to game one of our Saturday doubleheader as Brisbane take on Perth. Jack Everett joined by Shane Neal and Corey Homicide Williams. This game has got a lot of plots to it, gentlemen. Good afternoon.
G'day, Jack. It's going to be a cracking game. Don't worry about that. And as you mentioned, here come the Brisbane Bullets. What a win over the Sydney Kings, up to 13 and 14. They have to make the most of these home games, and no bigger challenge than taking on the Perth Wildcats tonight.
This ladder is going to look potentially very different by the end of tonight, particularly for Brisbane. Another win would be crucial for them. There's their starting five and their team for tonight. But, Corey, let's go straight to Anthony Drew. In their win over Sydney on Thursday, he was lights out. 7 of 10 from outside, 28 points.
Fantastic performance, and that's the level we know he can play at. We need it on a consistent basis. And if he can do this and be a legitimate third option for this team, they will have a great chance to make that top four.
And I guess the thing from a shooter's perspective, Hammer, it wasn't like he went on a roll across one quarter. He was knocking them down in the first and he was knocking them down late in the fourth.
Yeah, he was ultra consistent. I expected things like this from him across his last few years coming out of college. No, he had a few setbacks along the way, but you know, he can be a star. And when he does this, it just adds depth to that scoring that they really need. Take a little bit of pressure off Sobe, who's been unbelievably consistent for a long time.
And it's a milestone night tonight for Andre Lamanis. It's a very special night at Nissan Arena. There's a lot going on that we'll tell you a little bit more about. But well done to Andre, his final year as coach of the Bullets. He's 13th in total in the NBL, and he passes the 400-game mark. And in the lead-up to tonight's game, a little earlier, he caught up with our man, John Guan.
The Brisbane Bullets continue their homestand tonight against the Perth Wildcats, and I'm joined now by head coach Andre Lamanis. Andre, you're coaching your 400th game here, one of only 9 coaches in NBL history to do that. Can you tell us some memories of those 400 games, some that really stick out to you?
That's an interesting question, John. I mean, it's obviously that's a relatively long journey, and I'm very thankful for those who continue to trust in me and believe in me and give me the opportunity to coach over that time. But it's for me, it's always about the people, I guess. And so individual games, I mean, people talk about winning championships, and that's always nice. But for me, it's seeing the growth and development of some of the players that I've been fortunate enough to work with and see them go on and achieve. And so there's been, I guess, plenty of cases of that. And so they're the things that stick out for me.
I know you were happy picking up the win against Sydney the other night. What do you have to do to continue winning ways against Perth tonight?
Yeah, well, I don't think there's too much of a secret in it. It's, you know, we've got to bring the grunt at the defensive end, and we've got to defend the three-point line. That's an area where we've certainly had our struggles during the season, and I thought over the last couple of games we've been better in that space. Obviously against Perth, you got to rebound. They're a great offensive rebounding team, and then at the offensive end, we need to play with a bit of pace, move the ball, make sure we continue to keep our attack on the rim.
Well, congratulations on your 400th game and best of luck against Perth.
Thanks, sir.
All the best to Andre Lamanis, but he'll have to try and engineer a victory against one of his former charges. Will Magnay played 43 games as a Brisbane Bullet, starting tonight for the Wildcats.
And I like this move. Magnay into the starting lineup a little bit earlier than what you probably would have thought, but I think it's a good move. This is the starting five they'll have for the rest of the season and the playoffs as well. Only 12 minutes in his first game. Spent a lot more than tonight.
And here he is with John a little earlier.
Here with Will Magnay. Will, returning to the Nissan Arena for the first time. What are your emotions like heading into the game against the Bullets?
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, building with a new team. You know, still getting integrated. You know, learning how the other boys play. But
you know, I get to see my family and my friends, and they get to watch me play again. So, you know, it's always pretty special.
You played the other night against United. How are you feeling physically after the quarantine and then playing again that big game?
Yeah, body's a bit knocked up and sore and whatever, but, you know, no excuses, you know, from what I heard throughout this season. It's just been it's been a tough run for every team on the road, you know, so